Well, thank you all for joining. So today we're going to be going through PaperSave for NetSuite. Couple housekeeping items. If everyone could just please use the Q&A function inside of Zoom if you have any questions. But I'm going to go ahead and dive right in here. So just a quick introduction to myself. My name is Greg Dzurinda. I'm the Director of Product Management here at PairSoft. I've been with the company for just over 8 years now. And prior to that, I was actually a client of PaperSave for about 2 years. So with today's agenda, we're going to go through just a company overview, who's PairSoft. We'll do a brief overview of PaperSave, talk about some key features, and then we'll dive right into the demo. I'll try to keep the slides quick and brief so that we can get to the that demo as soon as possible. So who is PairSoft, right? So we've been in the market for quite some time. We have really tight integrations with many different ERPs within the market, like Blackbaud products, Microsoft products, Oracle products, and really what we also bring to the table here is just years of industry knowledge, as well as we've been leaders in the P2P space with some of those other major ERPs as well. Just a quick snapshot here of our G2 ratings, just so you can get a feel for what our customers feel like about us as well. So we've been quite a leader here as well. Some quick overview of some of the features and functionalities that PaperSave offers. So AP automation, that's probably the core of our product here. We also have a payment solution as well. So after those invoices have gone through our approval and routing solution, and we create those invoices inside of NetSuite, we can also then go ahead and pay those invoices. We also have a pretty robust document management solution, which we'll briefly touch on. We have some analytics, a mobile app as well, and we are tightly integrated inside of NetSuite. Some key features that I want to highlight before we get into the demo here. So flexible routing rules. So we do offer unlimited approvers. So licensing is not approval based. You can have as many users access PaperSave as you need to. And those users do not have to have access to NetSuite in any way. So while we are separate outside of NetSuite, we are still tightly connected inside of NetSuite. So, but those users do not have to have NetSuite licensing. We can also do some automatic routing. We'll touch about, or we'll touch on this a little bit once we get into the demo. So that direct integration that I was talking about. So we do utilize NetSuite's API to pull data out of NetSuite, as well as push those bills back into NetSuite. And then we are creating those transactions inside of NetSuite Live. So there's no delay or anything like that when we're creating those records. We also have a tile integration inside of NetSuite, so giving you the ability to very quickly pull up documents that have gone through PaperSave on those records directly. And then more on our document management capabilities, so the ability to search based off of document text or other metadata that is stored on the document itself. Is really easy inside of PaperSave here, and you can also very quickly and easily export documents out. So I think of your audits or something like that, where you may need to very quickly get a list of all invoices from a particular vendor. You can do that very easily from within PaperSave. So let's go ahead and dive right into the demo here. So this is our PaperSave homepage. So you're going to see a lot of different tiles on here. We're just going to focus on the one here for today, which is our workflow. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. That is going to take me to our workflow list. So I am an admin of this workflow. I see everything that is going through here right now. By default, your end users are going to only see the items that are assigned to them. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some new items in here. Now for like this demo, I'm going to go ahead and just drag and drop an item in here. You also have the ability to bring in documents to the workflow in other ways. We can monitor maybe that centralized AP mailbox that you're already having your vendors send all their invoices to, and automatically grab those attachments out and add them into the workflow. Now, what we're doing on this item now is we are processing OCR on this document here. So we are going to try to pick out who's the vendor, what's the invoice number, the invoice date, the amount, the PO number. If you happen to do PO matching, we'll pull that off of there as well. And then we're going to auto-populate these fields here. Now, like these fields, these are coming out of NetSuite, like anywhere you see this lookup or some of these drop-down list values as well. So these locations, these are coming out of NetSuite directly. Now we are also, doing some automations in here too. We're checking for things like duplicates, like both within NetSuite and like inside of PaperSave, to try to prevent some of that duplicate data entry or, like duplicate, like approvals as well. I'm going to go ahead and just change my invoice number here for the purposes of this demo. And I'm going to change my date. Now, some of the other automations that we can do, right? We're pulling the default currency based off of that vendor. We're able to pull default like expense accounts as well. And like payment terms, discounts, all of those automations that you have as well, like inside of NetSuite, we should be able to like replicate within PaperSave as well. Now the like expense line items or like the items tables are both here. You have the ability to just use the defaults, or you can delete the defaults, add your own. You can break those out across as many line items as you need to. There's no limit there. We can also do things like allocations as well. If you have set allocations within your organization, like you can bring that data into PaperSave, and then we can break those like line items out for you. There's all kinds of options there. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and select a reviewer here. So like this is going to be who I need to approve this invoice. Now, we could automate this as well. So if you know for like each vendor who needs to approve that invoice, or for each account who needs to approve that invoice, we can automate this here so that those approvers will automatically show up in this list. And then I'm going to go ahead and submit this item into the workflow. Now, like, since I selected a like reviewer, it's going to automatically go to that reviewer right away. So if I go back to my list, here's that item, and it's automatically assigned to Bruno, which is who I had told it to go to. Now, Bruno's going to get some email notifications. We have a couple different options as far as how we notify end users. So like we can notify them as soon as they get assigned an item. Like as soon as they get assigned an item to like approve, or like we can send them email like reminders every 12 hours, 24 hours, whatever you decide there. From there, they'll have clickable links to like open up that item like inside of PaperSave, and like they'll also have approve or like reject items inside of that email. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this item. I'm going to pretend to be Bruno here. So like Bruno's going to have a very similar view here, as we had in that acquire screen there. So like Bruno can either modify any of these fields, like if he has permissions to do so. So like each one of these fields are controlled by permissions. Or he can just approve or like reject these items. So let's say he tries to reject, it's going to force him to put in a comment here before he does. So maybe he just says, not my invoice, and he's going to go ahead and reject that item. So that's going to go back to accounts payable. And like right now, Julio is my AP processor in this scenario. And Julio's going to go ahead and open up this. And then he's going to be able to go to this conversation panel. Now, like that said, that like I was the one that wrote that comment, because we are storing who owned the item versus who actually performed that action. You do have the ability to have admins of the workflow who can act on behalf of other people. That's all configurable through our like application. So then Julio can see that comment. He can either fix it and send it to somebody else, or he can just say, yes, it is. Please approve, and send it back. So then that item will go back to Bruno. That comment will also show up in that email notification as well, like right at the top. So like Bruno's going to see that comment. He's going to be able to come in here and he's going to be able to click approve. Now, we also had the ability to do some automatic escalations based off of dollar amount threshold. So like if like Bruno's threshold maybe was just $100, we can automatically escalate to his manager and then continue that process until we hit somebody that has the like proper threshold. Now this last step is where we are submitting to like NetSuite. So I'm going to go ahead and just filter my step just down to that single step there. And I have the ability to either like review these items one by one again. Maybe you do have your like approvers, like reviewing these items and making changes as it goes through that approval process. Or maybe you have that locked down and you don't need to review these one more time. So I'm going to go ahead and select all of these and I can submit them into NetSuite. Now, here's where we're going to be making a live call to NetSuite to create those invoices. I'm going to go ahead and clear my step filter here, and we're just going to give that a second to make that live call. There it is. It came up. I'm going to go ahead and open up that item now, and we're going to see in the conversation history and go to this detailed workflow item history here that we've created this transaction inside of NetSuite. Now, before I jump into NetSuite, just a call out of some other features and like functionalities inside of PaperSave. We also have annotations here where you can add, like sticky notes, like redactions, like text on the document, whatever you would like to add here, you have the ability to do so. You can download, print, and share like any of these documents. And then there is also like a really nice like workflow item history that you can download as well that will show you all of the field values, a like copy of like the document image, and all of the history. So great for auditors, like if you want to share that. All right. So jumping back over to NetSuite here, I'm just going to go ahead and refresh this page. There we go. Zoom was in the way there. And here is my invoice right here. Here's the other one that I submitted as well. I can go ahead and click on view here, and we will pass over all of those fields that you saw from within PaperSave, like over to NetSuite, as well as the line items. Now, you'll see a lot of the line item details here, like I didn't like give it like department or class or customer, like any of that information. If we do support all of those fields, I just did not supply those on the PaperSave side. Then we have our PaperSave tile here, which will show me that document, and I can go ahead and open up that document, view the document image, like any of the field values that we show from here, as well as that detailed workflow history will stay with the document forever. So you have the option to view the document either from PaperSave without going into NetSuite, or like directly from NetSuite as well. Now, there are some other ways of viewing documents from within PaperSave that I'll very quickly go through. If I go ahead and go into our browse area here, and if I drill into NetSuite purchasing and vendor bill here, these are all of my vendor bills that I have documents for inside of PaperSave. So I can very quickly search in here. So maybe I just want to see Amazon. Here's all of my like Amazon documents. I can click through and view these documents if I need to. Like I can actually like export a list of those documents out of PaperSave. here as well, and share that with anyone that has access to PaperSave. We can also go into our search area here. So maybe I need a more like refined search. So like we have a simple search. Like think of this as like a needle in a haystack search. So like this searches all over PaperSave. It searches document contents. It also searches like any of the field values that you saw like on the right-hand side there earlier. But there's no like refinement here. But if I go into our like advanced search, we have the ability to do a more like refined search here. So if I go into vendor bill and maybe I want to see all invoices where the vendor contains Amazon and the amount is going to be greater than $100. I click search. That'll return all of the documents that match that criteria. From here, I can very easily select all of these and click download. Like I can export that Excel sheet as well that has all this information on it, plus clickable links to view the document inside of PaperSave. Like I can also save this search. So like if you want to like reuse searches later and maybe just change like a date field or some amount field, like you can save that search and then load from previously saved searches later. The other thing I didn't really touch on too, we do have a mobile app which can do some of these same things that we just saw here, as well as for those approvals too. Like any of your like approvers that have the mobile app installed, they will also get notified through the mobile app if they have it.